If you've lost a loved one in an accident, you're clearly in a very difficult time right now. Our office is here to help through that time and make sure that any compensation that may be due or that the family of the loved one would be entitled to is explored. These things can be very complicated. There may be additional coverages that exist in a situation involving a death that do not exist in a normal injury accident where the injured party survives. Our office handles those on a very regular basis and works very hard to explore all of those options so that that difficult time in the family's life, we make sure that we're there and we have their back, especially covering the legal and the financial aspects that go into these cases. The benefits that are available to a family after a injury-related death are a little bit different in regards to the way that they would be with just an injury where somebody recovers. Funeral expenses are part of the equation. Benefits to the survivors, those who the deceased cared for or had some sort of responsibility to from a financial standpoint. These are all part of the calculations that go into resolving one of these cases, whether it be by settlement or in court. Our office does the work to make sure that all the appropriate questions are asked, that we get all of the documentation that is necessary to put forth a full case, because many times when these things are resolved, they're done when they're done. So to come back a few weeks, a few months, a few years later and realize that we forgot this or we forgot that, if the case has been resolved, it's too late to get that. So our office has the ability and the experience in making sure that all the bases are covered and everything that can be recovered is recovered. In Maryland, there are two main types of claims that involve a death. You have a survivor benefit, which encompasses the support that the deceased was giving to a family, whether it be children, a spouse, or otherwise, to make sure that they can continue with their life as best possible financially in the absence of that person. There's also the death benefits, which typically entail, in a nutshell, the concept of pain and suffering. So exactly how the loss occurred is very important. These cases can be very difficult to deal with, more so because of how sad the situations often are, both for the family and for us having to go through all of the details of how the death occurred. These are the things that make up that death benefit case, and really they encapsulate the pain and suffering aspect of that loss. Our office works regularly with these cases and is successful in recovering money where it's due. In Maryland, the statute of limitations on a wrongful death suit, much like any other negligence action, would be 3 years from that occurrence. It's oftentimes good to begin the process much earlier so that there are situations where if there is a government agency or otherwise involved that may have some responsibility, there are notice requirements that are much less than the 3 years. It's important to not wait, and I understand that with these cases, it's often a difficult time for the family, and they don't necessarily want to deal with somebody like me at that point, but oftentimes coming and working with my office means not having to deal with far more things because our office is here to handle them than they would if they tried to go it on their own. After the death of a loved one, when so many things are going on, the most important is the grieving process for the family. My office handles all of the administrative and legal aspects of that death case so that the family can be with the family, move on, begin the grieving process, and know that everything else that is in the nitty-gritty paperwork is taken care of. Wrongful death injury claims can happen in a variety of places, whether it be in a standard car, auto accident, a truck accident, or especially a motorcycle accident, whether it be on the workplace or in a medical facility or other sort of care facility. Our office handles all of these cases. We know the ins and outs of each and every one and the nuances of what makes one different from the other. If you or a loved one have been injured like this or have a family member who has recently passed and you believe that somebody else may have been responsible for this, call our office and we'll take care of all of the groundwork and the details from there. Myself and my staff are here to help. Just contact our office at 410-885-6200 or visit the website at bowerslawmd.com. I serve those injured in accidents due to the negligence of another throughout the entire state of Maryland. I handle accident and injury claims on a contingency fee basis, meaning I charge no fee until I am successful and recover for you.